What's going on, everyone? We're back with issue number 5 of Ultimate Spider-Man. This issue is going to be following Harry and basically goes into how he becomes the Green Goblin and gets to where he is today. It starts off with Harry's dad, Norman, talking to his wife, Emily, and about their son not showing up for an important event and how he is really just disappointed in that. He gets a call from Harry who says that he's just a few minutes away, but Norman doesn't really give a crap. He asks Harry if he knows his favorite memory of him, to which Harry responds about sometime they were playing catch, but Norman cuts him off and is like, "No, you're thinking like a boy still. My favorite memory of you is the time you finally grew up, but it hasn't happened yet." Which is a bit cold, but before Norman can truly finish his sentence, the building is blown up by the Maker in the framed Tony Stark terrorist event, killing both of Harry's parents. So only just a little bit traumatic for Harry, I would say. But a few weeks later, Harry is going over the details of his inheritance with his attorney, who basically says that Harry is going to inherit everything. But coincidentally, he also got a card with a chess piece on it, to which is actually a summons from Wilson Fisk. You know, aka the Kingpin. Harry goes to meet Fisk, who tells him that he needs a favor. With Stark dead, the company is in ruins, but Fisk really doesn't want his competition to rise from the ashes, so his plan is to sell off some of Stark's old properties to Harry to make sure they don't really have a chance to return. Harry buys the place, and with his wife Gwen and Otto Octavius, they're able to break into a secret lair that Tony had, and it had been hidden on the plans, but of course, Doc Ock was able to find them buried somewhere in the files. Also, apparently Tony Stark had the worst network security I've ever seen, because Otto hacks into the terminal with the password Anthony with a 0. I'm not even sure how the network allowed him to input that password, because even my freaking McDonald's app requires me to have more parameters than that. Anyways, Gwen tells Harry that Otto needs another more rigorous non-disclosure agreement because what he's about to learn is going to be highly sensitive, but Otto doesn't really care at all. He's just eager to get to start studying everything, and he's immediately in. A few months after that, the first Green Goblin suit is ready. Otto also shows him some spheres that are capable of switching out the core to allow for a variety of different reactions, which I think will come into play in the future and makes for some really interesting interactions when they're not just all strictly bombs. Most importantly though, Otto says that it's connected to a network that links all of Stark tech. He said last night the board started lighting up with new pieces of tech all over until over 100 pieces were now being tracked. A month later, and Harry is tracking them all down and kind of learning bit by bit what Stark knew, and he runs into the Shocker, who tells him that he was robbing someone who had clearly died, but there was this hologram of Tony playing in the background, which kind of leads Harry to believe that Tony is alive. A month after that, he is finally having that drink with Peter, and he asks Peter if Tony Stark appeared in a hologram to him and gave him some powers. When Peter replies that yes, but it was a little more complicated than that, Harry tells him that he had to learn all this the hard way, and after digging through all of these Stark files, he has a reason to believe that the people that gave him the Stark Company may actually be the most evil people in the world, and it was probably them, not Stark, that were behind the death of his parents. He asked Peter why Tony gave him the powers, and Peter said that Tony said he was actually supposed to be a hero, and Peter immediately recognized that that was true, and it's what he'd been missing this whole time. And because he's a hero, they're going to take down this evil empire, because that's what heroes do. Finally, we see Harry in some dark cellar with what appears to be Fisk's bodyguard. He apparently had some exoskeleton that had been bonded under his skin that Harry took off in a kind of torturous kind of way. He tells the man that he wants answers and he doesn't care how long it takes. But the man just says that everyone wants to be a hero until it actually costs them something, and it isn't until that point that we can really see the kind of man you truly are. Harry says that his father used to talk about the difference between being a man or being a boy, and at this point he doesn't know if he's a man or a boy. He doesn't know if he's a hero or something else, but we're all about to find out. So yeah, I think Harry is definitely torturing that dude, which certainly stretches the line into whether he can actually be considered a hero or not, but that's gonna wrap it up for issue number 5. It's always good to see things from the villain's perspective, though admittedly he's not a true villain yet. Not until he starts doing things really bad. I mean, torture's, I guess, pretty bad. And kidnapping is also a crime, and blowing up, I guess, buildings is also a crime. So, you know, he's not got a great track record if we think of all the stuff that he's done in the last few issues. But let me know, what are your thoughts on the story so far? I'm Keegs, and I'll catch you all next time for some more Spider-Man content.